Hey guys, welcome to my channel, One Raw Chick. My name is Yadivis for those of you guys that are new. And today I want to show you guys exactly how I make my product labels for my hair products. So I love using Canva because I do usually create my template on there and just upload it to whatever website I'm going to be using, whether it's Vistaprint, Avery, to create my labels or my tags. So the first thing I like to do is I like to go ahead and go through Canva just to see the templates that they currently have there, draw some inspiration. Like I like how that one has the backdrop with the soap bar on top, or, this one that has like a cleaner look. So definitely pull some inspiration. Don't copy, guys. There's a difference between being inspired and just plain up copying. And I wanted to show you guys what kind of inspired minds that you've seen in the beginning. So I really, really like this one, especially because I can see this being on a shelf of a store, and that's the vision I have for my products. A nice little paragraph on the left. I like how it has the barcode on the right, but more so what you want to do with the template is you see how I'm just moving things around. That's a great way to get an idea of how these templates were created. Sometimes we overcomplicate things when it's as simple as adding like a square or a palm tree that I turn upside down, just drawing from it and seeing how it was created and how they layer it on top of each other. So, like I mentioned, I always like to start with a blank sheet of paper on Canva. And before you do anything on here, I highly recommend going to whatever program or whatever website you're going to be uploading your product to just to get the dimensions. The last thing you want to do is create a beautiful template, and then when you upload it, it's either too big or too small, and then you have to start again from scratch. And sometimes, as an entrepreneur, you don't have time to go back to the drawing board, maybe at that specific time. So as you can see here, I just go to Vistaprint product labels. And the reason why I say Vistaprint is one of my favorite because it does have great prices. So let's say you wanted to do a roll of 100, that's $130, which I don't think is too bad. But for those of us like that are starting off, may not have access to all that capital, they do provide you guys sheets, and it's way cheaper, more economical. And also, like before you invest in 100 designs, maybe you wanted to test a sheet or two and see how you like it, how it looks on your product. And what you see me doing here is just going through each shape or orientation because not every size that you see before you click is going to be available to you maybe. So now that you have your dimensions, you want to go back to Canva and make sure that you go ahead and resize it properly. So the way you resize is you go up to the left corner where you see right next to file and just click resize. Usually you could just type it in and just go from there. Now, one thing that I also do like to pull from is I do like to pull from Pinterest. I like how this one has a floral background with that frame right there. So that's the one I'm going to be kind of recreating. So once you have your inspiration, for the one that I'm going to do, I want a floral backdrop. So it's simple as selecting the photos icon on Canva and typing in floral background. Or, if you're looking for a specific type of flower, it does allow you to type in rose or, let's say you have hydrangeas or lilies. So you can get as specific as you want to be if you're looking for anything in particular. And that's one thing I do like about Canva. Now, once you selected a backdrop that you like or that you found works for you, it's as simple as just putting the picture and stretching it to completely cover the background of the blank page. So it can be something like, as you can see me here, I just stretch it out all the way to all the corners, and that becomes almost like a backdrop. So the one that I ended up selecting was this one. And as you saw, I just stretched it out. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to Element because I want to import that frame so that I can put like the details for the shampoo. And this one is really good because you can customize it with the color and the shape and the height. Another thing I like to use is the transparency. Making it a little more transparent gives it more like that airy look. It definitely helps it be soft, like the backdrop. I personally like the white. And what you see right here is when you see those solid purple lines, that lets you know that you are at the center of the actual page and that you're right in the middle, especially for when you're creating products. You want to keep it very centered. Now, another trick I wanted to show you guys is how to remove the background on a picture that you love. So for this one, I love the roses, but I'm not feeling the gray backdrop. It doesn't really match my theme. So what you want to do is select the picture, go ahead and click effects and press that background remover, which is at the top. And what this does is that it leaves me those beautiful roses without that gray backdrop that doesn't really match my background. So as you can see, you can use it to be layered over your frame. And I really do like it like that because it gives it almost like a pop out 3D type of look. And whether you want to incorporate over the frame or in the frame, you can use it at the top or bottom. But the good thing is that you don't have to worry about that pesky gray background. Now, what you see me doing here is I'm starting to build up the label, trying to see how I want the word shampoo, what I want incorporated in my actual label, just playing around with different elements. And that's the process when you're creating, guys. Don't think that you're just going to sit down and it's all going to come to you at once. Sometimes you're there for an hour, sometimes you're there for 3 hours, just depending on how you want it to look, maybe what feel you're going for, who you're speaking to, who's your audience. So those are all things to take into account when you are going and looking, and creating your labels. Now, right now, what I wanted to start creating was like the logo on my label of my company. So what I did is I got the actual symbol that's a part of my logo. And as you can see, it's too dark for me. It feels like it takes away from the actual backdrop. So what I'm doing is using the transparency to make it a little bit more softer, almost like a watermark. And then what I wanted to do is just start building up the name. This is where I start creating of how I want the logo to look. And you want to really take your time with this, especially if you have multiple hair products or a hairline. Pick a logo that once you create it, you're going to always use it on every label. So I like this one. I like how the hangs almost on the edge of the R, and then the collection I'm gonna put it at the tail end so that it reads the raw collection. Because I do have hair products that is organic, and I wanted to definitely emphasize on that. Now, as you continue to build your label, you want to make sure that you include a couple of key things in the actual label. Remember, this is the first thing that the customers are going to see or your potential customers will see before they even buy the product. And you want to make sure that your label speaks to them. So if you have a key ingredient that you want to highlight, whether it's sulfate free or that it's organic, you want your customer or your potential customer to be able to look at the label and say, wow, this is a problem that I have and this may be the solution to it, right? If I'm very conscious on what I put in my hair, maybe you putting 100% organic speaks to me. Also, I do like to include like a sentence or two on the brief benefits of whatever key ingredient I have. You can't assume that your customers know what each ingredient does in your product, so you do have to tell them, hey, this shampoo is infused with rose oil. It helps stimulate hair growth so that if I'm suffering from hair loss, I can say, wow, this is something that may work for me in my lifestyle. Now, right before you download it, you want to make sure that everything is aligned properly, just to make sure everything is standard so that way when it prints out, it's not like lopsided or on one side. Now, the good thing about Canva is that it does give you different ways to download your actual file, whether it's a PNG, if you want a PD standard, if you're trying to print it. For this one, we're going to go with PNG. And right there where it says size, I do like to slide it all the way to 3. And this just ensures that when I do upload it and stretch it, it's not going to be pixelated or blurry or anything like that. All right, so now we're at Vistaprint for the final step, which is simply just uploading that file that you just downloaded into Vistaprint. So you just click the upload from my computer and select that image. The way my computer works is that usually the last thing that I downloaded usually pops up, but if you have a name, go ahead and just enter it and search for it. Now, what you want to do is you want to see that it says that your image looks great because when I stretch it out, that does mean that it's going to be, you see how it's still sharp, it's not blurry or anything like that. That's what you want to make sure the resolution that you get. Now, the good thing about Vistaprint, as with any other product, they let you preview it, but I do like to go a step further and get that PD proof. The reason why is because I actually printed out on my piece of paper, and even though I know it's not a sticker label, I like to get a feel of how it's going to look, make sure that it's aligned, make sure that I'm comfortable with it before I send it off to be printed.